Hello folks, welcome to this series of AWS services. And today we are going to talk about content delivery network, which is known as CloudFront in AWS. So why do we need content delivery network or CDN anyway? We need CDN to quickly deliver our web content or media content to the users who are accessing our web application or websites. Though it is primary reason, but there are other reasons as well, which is to secure our web application, to have more control about who can view my website and who cannot view, for better customer targeting and overall good user experience. So for all these purposes, we need content delivery network. This is a well-known concept if you talk about web developers and people who are there in website development arena. So let's see how does a website looks like when you don't have a CDN. So just think about that we have got our web content hosted in some S3 or some web server and kept in our London region. Now the user of my web application may be coming from all around the globe. Suppose we have got a user from China, you have got a user from Australia, and another one from South America. Now all of them are accessing the same kind of content, but the user experience of each of these could be different because since they are geographically distant from our origin server, so it might take a long time to actually deliver the full content to the user. This will include high latency, which could not be the best user experience that the user gets. Also, you need to transfer your data from origin to the user every time a user accesses your request, which is not a good use of the bandwidth that you have. To avoid all this, AWS provides you content delivery network. So what is a content delivery network? So a content delivery network is a distributed system of servers across the globe that deliver web content or media content based on geographical location of the user, based on the origin of the website, and based on the location of these distributed servers. This enables you to have a global reach across the global users. It enhances the delivery speed of the content and it offloads your original web server. So the obvious thing is the closest you have got your content delivery server to the user, the faster the content will reach that particular user. So AWS has got hundreds of such content delivery servers, which are called edge servers, kept at edge locations. And these edge locations are distributed across the globe around hundreds of major cities. So CDN also protects your site, protects it from malwares, protects it from high surges in the traffic, and protects it from unwanted malicious scripts which are running across the internet. So let's talk about how CDN works. So if you have enabled CDN, which is called CloudFront in AWS, if you enable CloudFront, then every time a particular user hits on your website, the DNS service routes the user request to the nearest content delivery server or nearest edge server. It will search for the content which is requested by the user on that particular edge server. If it doesn't find that, then it will request for origin server where original copies of your content are kept and then downloads and puts it in the edge location or edge server. And then finally creates the response and sends it back to the user. If edge server already has the content, then it would be directly delivered from that edge server to the user and there won't be any need to go to the origin server. So since these edge servers are very near to the users, so the content delivery would be pretty fast and overall user experience would be better. This is not only making it faster, but it is also, in a sense, offloading your load on origin server. Most of the user requests are now getting processed by those edge servers rather than just the origin server. Once data comes and gets cached into the edge server, all the popular content should be basically now on the edge server. So if the next user now comes, he would directly get it from the edge server and it doesn't need to go to the origin server again. This, in a sense, is also effectively utilizing the bandwidth. You are not wasting the bandwidth for multiple downloads of the same content from origin to edge server. So while talking about CDN or CloudFront, there are multiple terms that you need to understand. First of all, what is CDN? CDN is this system of distributed servers along with the origin and the network that connects all these edge location, regional edge cache, the user and the origin. Now what is edge location? Edge location is that content delivery server which is located nearest to the user. So these servers are called edge servers or sometimes also referred as edge location. So these servers are called edge servers and the location is called edge location. Now these are different from AWS region and different from your availability zones. Now, other than edge location and edge servers, we also have something called a regional edge cache. Now, we understand that all the popular content would be stored on the edge servers, but regional edge cache also saves the content which is not that popular. So when data is not found on the edge location, it is searched from regional edge cache, and if it is not found there as well, then only the request goes to the origin web server. So regional edge caches are limited. They serve for multiple edge locations, and they are situated between the origin and the edge locations. So this is kind of an extra layer of content caching between the edge location and the actual origin. Now we've been talking about the origin. So origin obviously means the S3 bucket where you have kept the content, or it could be a web server where the original copies of the web content is kept. So depending on what kind of distribution you are using, it could be either the S3 bucket, or it could be web server, or it could be a load balancer which is being used for our website. So what is a distribution? Distribution is nothing but this network of edge locations. Then there is a concept of time to live. So time to live concept will come wherever there is a caching of some data, because time to live basically tells you that how long the data would be cached. That means after the expiration of this time to live, that particular content would be flushed out from the edge location, and a fresh copy may be requested from the origin web server. Now there could be two types of content. One could be a web content, another could be the RTMP. So web distribution is basically used for website, whereas RTMP uses real-time media protocol provided by Adobe Media Servers. So the web distribution can have the origin as the web server as well as S3 website, but for RTMP, the origin has to be an S3 website only. So few more features about the CloudFront. The CloudFront can be used for any kind of website, whether it's static or dynamic, whether it's used for media streaming or it is for interactive content. For any kind of website, you can use CloudFront. The edge locations that we talked about, they not only cache the readable data, but they also cache the data which is to be written. CloudFront integrates well with S3, with load balancer, with EC2 instances, and your service like Route 53. Not only AWS services, CloudFront also integrates with on-premise server itself. So if you've got an origin which is on-premise servers, then also you can use CloudFront. Whenever there is a caching on those edge locations, and suppose you have updated the content on your origin, now if you want to remove those caches from the edge locations, you can do that, but that would incur extra charges on you. So how does CloudFront works? From a developer's perspective, what are the steps you need to do? So as a developer, you need to first put all your content, the web content, on an S3 bucket, or if you're using a web server, then you can upload it there. Then you create a CloudFront distribution where you'll be providing a lot of configuration about who is the origin, whether it's a S3 website or whether it's a web server or any other service. Then you'll be specifying that what kind of content you want to cache. You'll be talking about what protocol, etc. you'll support. And finally, the number of edge locations that you are going to include in your distribution. So you have an option to take limited number of edge locations. There are multiple price classes, which includes the network of edge locations, and you can use the price class which is suitable for your audience and your website. Now, once your CloudFront gets prepared, you can assign it a new domain name using your DNS settings, and then CloudFront will make sure that it sends your configuration to all the edge locations which you have configured. So remember, it will be distributing the configuration only and not exactly the content. The content, etc. would be cached based on your user request. So only the popular content would be sent to the edge location and would be cached on the edge locations. The less popular ones would be cached on the regional edge cache, and whole content would be there still on the origin servers. So other than this basic task of frequently delivering the content of the website, CloudFront does a lot of other things as well. So this can generate reports for you, which include cache statistics report, that how many bytes has been cached, total number of requests, and various kind of statistics related to your viewers. It can create reports like popular object report. So what are the web pages which are attracting most of the traffic? It can also create a top referral report, which would include that from where exactly the traffic is coming from, It can also create requests about number of bytes gets transferred and the share of data transfer based on protocol and based on destination. It can also give you good reports around what is the geography of users, what are the devices being used by user, and what is the browser and operating systems of the users, which could be a good data point for you to enhance your user experience. So not only that, you can also make your websites more secure by using CloudFront. You can use web application firewall, also called AWS WAF, and you can use web access control list to better secure your website. Using WAF and SEL will help you control who can access your website, and also it can detect malicious requests that may have malicious scripts written over it or malicious SQL injections, etc. You can block a traffic from a specific country, from a specific IP address or IP address ranges, or you can block a request which has a particular strings in the request. So all of this and more you can do with CloudFront. This is very good service for the web developer and people who want to host their website on AWS. We hope you enjoyed it. Please write down your comments in the discussion box if you have any query, and we'll get back to you. See you soon in the next video. Thank you for watching.